What is up, guys? Pie Muffin here, and we are back with our Tales of Arise video. I wasn't expecting to talk about this before the live stream because I felt like something like this they'd probably reveal there. But then again, the live stream is for a Japanese audience. Obviously, people like us who want to keep up with the news will tune in for it and just, piece it together based on what we see. But I guess they wanted to make an English post earlier than later, but this was to be expected. Um, Tales of Arise is being delayed to an unknown date, but the only date we had before was 2020, so that basically tells you without a shadow of a doubt that it's not coming out this year. Which, like I said, is not a surprise because we had one trailer last June, and then we had another trailer, I think it was in September, at Tokyo Game Show. But it wasn't even a new trailer. It was just a trailer with a couple new scenes added in there, and then they teased a new character at the end of that. Now, it's been almost a year since it's been over a year because it was June 19th, I believe. It was June 13th or June 19th, I forget which one. Since the first trailer, and we know nothing about the game beyond what's been shown in those two trailers, which isn't much at all. We know about these two characters, that they're from opposing worlds, and that they're going to have to work together to change the structure of both their worlds. That's literally all we know about the game itself, and that is not what Tales does when they release a game. I saw a lot of people being like, oh, well, maybe this time around they don't want to give too much information. Maybe they'll just release the game with what they've shown. And no, that's not how Tales does things. They love to capitalize on promoting their new characters so that they can sell merchandise, like most of the other Bandai IPs like to do as well. So there is no way that this game would come out without us knowing a few things. The entire cast of the game, the voices of those characters, and who is doing the opening song. And we would see the opening animation before the game even came out. So without any of those things, the game was nowhere near being close to being released. But let's look at this article and see what it has to say. For everyone who is patiently waiting for Tales of Arise, as you may have already seen in media stories and on our social media channels, we have made a decision to delay the launch timing of Tales of Arise, the latest title in the Tales of series. Well, one of them. The goal for Tales of Arise is to provide a familiar but innovative gameplay experience to fans of the series. So that's basically what they've been saying, is that the gameplay in this, while it's going to feel Tales, it's going to be something new as well. We're pushing the technical envelope to deliver a higher level of graphical quality to both impress both longtime players who have never played a Tales of game, to players those who have and never. What? How do you work? Okay, let me read this slowly. Both longtime players and those who have never played Tales of game. Jeez. Development on the title has moved steadily forward in 2020 as we overcame challenges along the way. While COVID-19 has affected some aspects of development, we've done our best to adapt to the situation and have implemented remote development capabilities for our team. I feel like, honestly, even without COVID-19, this game probably wouldn't have come out this year because, COVID has really only been an issue for the last 2 months, almost 3. And we still didn't know any, by March, we still hadn't had any more information on the game. So I feel like it's still, maybe if we were lucky without COVID, it might have come out in December, but I don't know. However, we need more time to achieve the quality and provide the gorgeous experience we envisioned. So this is basically what happened with Tales of Krystoria. They wanted to do more with the game. They didn't want to release a game that they didn't feel like was of the quality that they wanted. And that's why, originally Krystoria was supposed to come out last December, but now it's going to come out either at the end of this month, which is seeming less likely, or July. So if we go based on that, Maybe if we're lucky, maybe like a January, February release for Tales of Arise. But let's keep reading here before we talk about that. So yeah, so that's where that they decided to delay. A new launch window will be provided once we have more details to share. In the meantime, the determination of our development team is not weakened. It is always darkest before the dawn. Okay. As illustrated in the image. Well, I think they mean this one. Where was I? In the meantime, okay. We hope you will join us as a bring, I think they mean brand, or as we bring a new Tales of Adventure to light. Okay, I don't know how they meant to write that. I don't know who translated this. Feel free to download it. Okay, that just has to do with the image. You can use it as like a background or something. Thank you for your patience and support for Tales of Arise and Tales of Series. Regards, Yusuke Tomizawa, the producer of Tales of Arise. So, yeah, so it's not coming out in 2020. That's for certain, because otherwise they would no need to say a delay because we don't have a date yet. So the fact that they're delaying a general 2020 game means it's not coming out in 2020. Which will make it over 5 years. Well, by the time this game comes out, it'll probably have been 5 years since the last Tales of game. Which isn't, the worst, because that's obviously, they're obviously putting a lot of work and a lot of quality into the game, I think August of 2016 in Japan is when Tales of Berseria came out, and then it was like the end of January in 2017 when we got here in the West. So for those of us who live in the West, it's really only been like 3 years and some change since Tales of Berseria, which is still a decent amount of time for Tales games. Usually Tales games, it's like 1 or 2 years in between. But, if they're really putting that much work into this game to make sure it's a great game, then I am not opposed to it, as long as it has, fun gameplay, a good cast of characters with a good story. I will be happy with how this game ends up. Now, I've seen the other question. A lot of people were expecting to see some Tales of Arise news on the live stream that's happening on the 5th of July. There's going to be a Tales live stream where they talk about some stuff. They confirmed on the blog that it's going to have news about Tales of the Rays and Tales of Asteria, probably just pertaining to what's going to be happening next month with those games. But there was no mention of Tales of Crestoria or Tales of Arise. With Tales of Crestoria, I feel like it's one of two things. It's either going to be the game is already out, and there's no reason to talk about it if the game just released. So if Crestoria releases within the next 10 days, there wouldn't be anything to talk about on the live stream. As with Tales of Arise, they may have a trailer. I don't know. It's really hard to say at this point, because it's like, if they have a trailer, wouldn't they have released it here? Instead of just giving while this is a nice piece of artwork, instead of just giving us a picture to look at when announcing a delay, you would think, maybe they would give us a trailer to kind of tide people over with the delay. So I don't know if I believe that a trailer at the Tales stream next week is very likely. I'd say it's possible, but I'm not banking on it. So this is definitely yeah, see, that's actually funny. The last post for Tales of Arise was on the 26th of September, talking about what happened at Tokyo Game Show last year. So by the time we get another trailer, it's probably going to be over a year since we've actually heard anything about it. Now, here's the other thing to talk about. Will this game be delayed to a point where they consider new console releases? Now, I think the graphical engine they're going to be, working with and everything, they're still going to hope to release on PC, obviously, but Xbox One and PS4. So even if they do take the extra time to make sure it goes on the Xbox Series X and the PS5, because obviously both those consoles will be out before the end of this year, as far as we've been told, it would be kind of foolish to not just make it for both systems. I mean, if if it comes out in like June of next year and it only comes out for PC, Xbox One, PS4, a lot of people will have moved on, which it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because the new Xbox and the new PlayStation will be backwards compatible to PS4 and Xbox One. But obviously, people are going to want to buy games that are for their current console. You know, even if it's just like, you know, like with Tales of Berseria and Tales of Zestiria, they were both on PS3 and PS4. So the graphics were basically made to work on both, but obviously it would look a little bit better if you played on the PS4. So they'll probably do the same thing with Tales of Arise here, where, you know, if you're someone who doesn't have the new consoles, you'll still be able to play it on Xbox One or PS4. But it will have a higher graphical look if you have it on the PS5 or the Series X. So I definitely think that that's a possibility. I think it would be kind of foolish to not put it on the new consoles just in general, because, I mean, you're missing out on all those sales of people who don't want to buy an old console game. But other than that, that's really all there really is to say here. You know, hopefully there's more stuff to talk about on the live stream when it comes to Tales of Arise, but at this point, since they just made the delay public here, I'm just not expecting to hear anything else, at least for a little while. You know, maybe when we get closer towards the end of the year, maybe they'll have a trailer for us, and then I would hope that by the end of 2020, we at least have a date in 2020, not just like 2021. You know, if they release another trailer in like December and it just says 2021, I would not be too happy with that. I'd at least like to know like a time frame that they have, even if it changes. You know, if it's, they don't even have to say the month, as long as they say the season. Like if they say spring, summer, or fall, 2021, whichever one of those, like at least something like that. But I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think down below. Obviously, this kind of sucks for people who are excited for the console game, but if you're just a Tales fan in general who doesn't mind, you know, just any kind of media you're going to be able to ingest for Tales, at least we have Tales of Krystoria on the horizon to look forward to, but I know not everyone is a mobile game fan. But that's going to be it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more if you're new to the channel. I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.